Welcome to another episode, Elliott. We're doing it again, having a podcast, talking to some of our county employees or police employees. We're going to go with crime solvers today.
Yeah, I'm glad to have them.
I'm
It's an
looking forward
important
to it.
program, and
I was, of course, one day I was a crime solvers detective.
I remember
back in the days,
all on television, all on the radio.
I don't know how well I did, but I enjoyed it.
And you were killing it.
But we
You
got
were
two
slaying
experts here now.
We do.
All right, we got Ron. Ron, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, Ron Coombs here. I'm police specialist, Ron Coombs. I know everybody in this room, which is rare nowadays. You want me to tell you all about me?
Not yet.
You just want my name?
Yeah, I just want
Okay.
your name right
All
now. And,
police specialist, Ron Coombs.
All right, and then we got my Elwood.
Yeah, you have yours truly, the man of the hour himself, the Moth, Elwood Baldwin Jr. here. And I want to go back because my partner in crime is not only Ron Coombs, but he is known as the
Other guy.
That's
other
right.
guy. The
That's-
part-timer.
That's how we do things. That's how we do things, Ron.
But again, in talking to you guys, we want to get into some of the position of crime solvers, detectives, or specialists in your book. Tell us a little bit how that journey of becoming a crime solvers detective.
Okay, so the journey to become a crime solvers detective started with me back in 2007 when I came to the police department and went through the police academy. Then had to do a little stint on the road. I was on the road for about 4 years, 11 months, and then I left and went to SRO. And SRO is school resource officer, so I got to do that for about 3 years. I left from school resource officer, went to the special victims unit, and was a special victims detective for 4 years. And then an opportunity came open because the person that was formerly in my spot, as everyone probably knows, is Mr. Kevin Bacon himself, Mr. Crime Solvers, was retiring. So the department put out an advertisement for the position. Of course, I put my name in the hat, interviewed, and was fortunate enough to get the position for Crime Solvers detective. And I've been with Crime Solvers now for just over 2 years.
Okay, now how long have you been with the police department?
I've been with the police department for a little over 13 years now.
Good. And we want to get into some of the other things, but let's go to Ron first. Ron?
Well, I came back to work for the police department. I was here for 27 years and retired in 2014. Worked a couple of years over in Goochland doing part-time bailiff work there. Came back originally as just a police aide position. There was a police aide position in forensics. That's what I did. Then the position of police specialist was created to kind of bring back retired officers and officers with experience to do related jobs that you don't have to be sworn to do, but it helps to have police experience to do. So that position was created, and one of the ones that was there was crime solvers, and I said, I'd like to do that. I'd enjoy doing that. So that's where I came into. I came back to work in crime solvers with Elwood. So that's where I've been ever since.
When you say you came back, let's go over your journey from you became a police officer, went to patrol, and tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I came here originally in 1987. That's when my academy started. So came here in 87, worked in the drug court program. I was a police officer assigned to that. I was promoted to sergeant, worked as a sergeant on the road, did a stint in OPS, the Internal Affairs Division for a little bit. Then when I retired, I was the administrative sergeant for the North End. Worked with Elliott up there.
Yeah, Ron was my sergeant.
Oh, okay.
Community police.
And from the North. But then after that, I worked part time over in Goochland for a couple of years as a part time bailiff.
Right.
And then came
here
on back here. Yep.
Ron is one of the guys that is in our office. He's a part-time. I'm a part-time police officer, and we have great conversations. And I think some of this program
Hashtag
started
that part-time life.
That part-time life. and again, we want to talk about some of the things that are going on in the police department. And one of the citizen partnership that we have with the police department is the crime solvers, folks. Can you walk us through the board? What is the board? And again, you pretty much work for. Even though you're a police officer, you work with the board.
Right. Do you want to take that, Ron?
Go ahead, you can take it over.
Okay, so our board for crime solvers, or to be a crime solvers or crime stoppers, silent witness, crime line, all the same type of organizations,
right.
You have to have a civilian board. So we have a civilian board of volunteers. I think we're at 19 right now, and actually I have sitting with me here actually an application for another board member to join. So, but it's a civilian board of volunteers, and it truly is made up of citizens within Chesterfield and Colonial Heights, because we are the Chesterfield County Colonial Heights Crime Solvers. But they're community members that kind of want to give back to their community,
right,
and this
good.
is the way that they do it. They pretty much run the program. They're in charge of pretty much overseeing the entire program, fundraising events, getting the marketing and merchandising, as far as for the brand of Crime Solvers out into the public. And they're hugely responsible for why Crime Solvers, at least Chesterfield County Colonial Heights Crime Solvers, has been so successful as far as being able to see it on the news and on social media.
So one of the ways, or the way the Crime Solvers program is set up, we have a citizen board because of the
Yes.
money and the finance involved not coming out of taxpayer funds.
Right.
It comes through funds that you raise through fundraisers or donations, and those people on the board disperse those funds and raise those funds.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
you and Ron are both employees of the police department. The board handles the
fundraising.
financial aspects.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, we don't touch any any of the money. That's all handled, like you said, through the board, through their fundraising events. Our biggest fundraiser, as many people that are here in the county and in Colonial Heights are probably familiar with, is our golf tournament. I don't have to talk about it with Skinner because not only did he do it as a Crime Solvers detective, but he also plays in our Crime Solvers golf tournament, so he's very familiar with it. It is our biggest and most successful fundraiser that we do throughout the year.
What is it coming up, or are you having it this
So-
year because of COVID?
Yes, we are working on it as we speak. Actually, we normally would have the tournament in April, but we just recently had the 2020 golf tournament in September because we had to move it last year in 2020 due to COVID. It was supposed to be April 2020. We ended up moving it to September 2020, and so the discussion at the last board meeting was about how soon do we want to start the whole process, because there's a lot that goes into it. They have to go out to businesses and get donors, and then we have to get the information out to participants and get them, to be able to register and pay their funds to be part of the tournament and all that stuff. So I think the last conversation that we had about it was that we were probably going to aim to do it sometime in September again.
Oh, so keep it in that
to keep
year
it
apart.
to keep it about a year apart, and it gives donors and businesses an opportunity to kind of see where they are from last year's, pandemic.
And understanding the fundraiser are to pay tippers for their information for the
Yes.
Crime Solver. So we
Yes.
need to talk about, if I'm a caller, what is the maximum that I can receive? If I call information on a homicide, and that information is helpful in that, walk me through that I'm gonna remain anonymous. That the reward that I can get. Walk me through that process.
Okay, so we would, of course, either receive the tip, or we would put out a case or crime of the week, is what we call them, or even a fugitive of the week. It could be a homicide suspect.
And when you say you put those out on.
We
what
put that on.
platforms?
When I say social media, I mean we put it out on Facebook. We put it out on Twitter, and we even have our own website, crimesolvers.net, which was actually, to give credit, was actually put together and created. Actually, our Facebook and Twitter accounts, all of that stuff was started under. So to go back, just real quick, because I know I made it seem like my transition into the Crime Solvers job was almost seamless. There was actually a time, but right before I went into Special Victims, that I actually applied for Crime Solvers, and I applied with our person that's in here now, controlling the ones and twos, Christopher Rizzuti. And actually, Rizzuti finished first on the Crime Solvers list, so of course he became the Crime Solvers detective, and under his watch with Crime Solvers, he actually was very instrumental in actually taking Crime Solvers into like the newer generation of outreach. So with social media, so he's responsible. He started our Instagram, our Facebook, our Twitter. He created a whole website, crimesolvers.net, which is what people use now, and that's what we still use. So that was all done under Chris Rizzuti. So to give him credit, who's in here with us,
The conductor.
Yes,
And he's still doing a good job.
yes,
doing
he's
a
still
good job.
I didn't have anything else to do.
So to kind of bring it back around, yes, we're on all of those social media platforms, due to Christopher Rizzuti. And so we still use our Facebook, our Twitter, our crimesolvers.net website. And so we put our crimes of the weeks, our fugitive of the weeks. And then, of course, we still do our runs with media and radio, because Ron does the recordings for that every week.
Okay.
So when people call in, you have they could have seen a tip that you've put out there or a case you put out there, or they could call in about a case that we're not aware of.
Exactly.
yet.
Exactly.
And
Right.
once you get that tip, what's the process?
Ron, I'll let you. You want to try to?
Okay, yeah, when we get our tips, we either get them on the P3Tips, which is when you can do it online basically, or with your app on a phone, or you can call it in. We have a call center now. Instead of a person in the office answer, there's a call center that they have. They'll give us information that say, hey, I know this guy is selling drugs out of this house between these times, whatever. That information is sent by one of us to the appropriate person to investigate it. So they get it in a lot of the P3 tips are done electronically now. So it's not an actual physical paper anymore. It's just sent to them. Hey, here's the tip we have. Here's what we do. They'll investigate it on their end and then send something back to us. Hey, we caught this guy. It's a good tip. It's we sat out here for 2 months. We didn't find anything. Doesn't mean it didn't happen. Just didn't happen when we were there to see it.
So are you still having the call number? Like I would give a call, so I don't have a name or anything. You get a number. You have to call back to check on that case.
Right.
Or if you see it on TV, did my tip and assist you all in this crime?
So it's
solving
all
crime.
anonymous.
It's all anonymous.
It's all anonymous.
So
Yes.
that's still there.
That's still there. Yep.
Okay.
You get a number assigned to you, even on the through P3. You get
Okay.
a number. That's your number
Okay.
that you use to contact us, either online or on through the phone, to tell you where the status of your tip is.
So I'm gonna date myself a little bit. Again, we had, as you all have been talking, and you have a great relationship with the community.
Right.
I used to go to VSU to record.
Yes.
In their studio, which we had a great relationship with them. I went to Channel 12, Channel 8, all the
Yes.
local stations, and along with the radio stations.
Yes, sir.
Are we still doing programs or doing this media stuff that we used to do?
A little different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Explain.
because of the COVID situation. Last year about this time, it was probably it was in March. I think we did our last. The radio stations,
In person.
understand it, didn't want anybody, and we were off for a while. And Chris volunteered, hey, I can record it, and we can send it to him. Chris will do our radio spots. We send those off I send them to the radio stations we normally deal with, and they put them on the radio from there.
Okay.
So we're still doing it's a little bit different. We don't actually physically go anymore to the radio, to the spot
Okay.
to do the recording, but
But you still have that relationship with the media
Absolutely.
that you're going to be prayerfully going back to that.
Right.
We hope.
Once this is
one of
once
these
this is-
days.
Yeah, we hope once things, of course, get better with the pandemic. We hope that we'll be, invited back in. The thing about the way we're doing it now, which is interesting, is that we hope that it doesn't become the norm for us as far as
Like, why don't we just do it this way?
Yeah, because it's so easy now because it's already recorded. Rizzuti does such a great job, and so by the time it gets to the radio, they can just put it into their system to play.
Okay.
They don't have to record us, edit it, and then add music to it, and then put it in themselves. But a lot of it is the person-to-person interaction and having that relationship and keeping that relationship going.
Right.
So we're hoping that, once things get better, they will go ahead and say, yeah, come back
Because
in.
we still want that partnership
We
with the
do.
community.
Right.
Exactly. We do.
So once the person calls, you give
Yeah.
them a number, then they call back and they find out, hey, thank you for the information. This is how much money we will give you.
Yeah.
They get that money.
Right.
How has this helped us solve crimes?
Big time. So, and Elliot, I appreciate you keeping us on task. But yeah, big time. Because, and the thing is, it's people love crime solvers and loves the idea of these crime solvers, crime stoppers type programs because I think people innately have a desire to want to help, they're in their community and keep their community safe. I think the biggest maybe apprehension, of course, and what we teach as well is the fear and apathy part that we all fight against as far as law enforcement, and so I think people love the idea of crime solvers because they can call us or give us information that can help us solve a crime and keep their anonymity. And then, oh, by the way, there's a chance that you get a reward.
Yes.
It's been instrumental in helping us solve crime. And I continue to say that if we didn't have this program, I think it would really hurt the community because I can't tell you how many fugitives we catch. I can't tell you how many crimes we've solved just off people submitting an anonymous tip to Crime Solvers, either through our phone line, 804-748-0660, quick plug, and then P3 Tips app. Now, I know, and I want to touch on this real quick, too, that when we talk about, you're able to submit us a tip online or, through an app, people say, well, how can that be anonymous? They can track the IP address or a phone number or whatever. The cool thing about the P3Tips app is it's actually a software designed by Anderson Software that kind of cleans that stuff from the server as that information is transported to us. So that's how we're not able to, track an IP address or track it back to a phone number. It truly is an anonymous software built basically for that purpose.
Right.
And we wouldn't do that to potentially invalidate not only our program, but the programs nationwide.
And not only that, a lot of it, if it goes to court, that's the one thing we used to fight all the time, that it is anonymous.
Right.
So my next question is the association, the crime prevention, the Crime Solvers Association. Are you still members of the National Crime Solvers Association? I know they put on a lot of training, a lot of conferences, a lot of information that's worldwide. Are y'all part of that organization as well?
Yes, we are still part of the National Crime Solvers Association. I don't see that changing, and there's been no discussion of that changing. I know we have to pay a membership there and all that stuff, but they do put on training, and it offer to crime solvers organizations across
across the country. That was great networking for us,
right.
Because we were doing things in Chesterfield that a lot of them was, oh man, I didn't know that existed. We need to get information on that.
But like everything else with the pandemic, they really haven't been putting on as many person-to-person trainings as I say. The last thing they had a training set up, but of course it was canceled because of the pandemic. So they did a lot of things through Zoom. Have been doing a lot of things through Zoom. So that's another thing that I hope comes back relatively soon.
I was just reading something about Pat Harris and Tammy Warwick on not our Tammy Warwick, but Tammy Warwick that was with the city, and they still doing some stuff on there.
Yeah.
How many tips do you get a year? Do you have any idea?
Oh gosh, good question, Elliot. You asking all the hard questions.
Skinner,
I only want to talk to you.
Skinner and I always talk about, this is real talk.
This is real talk. So again,
our listeners hopefully know by now we don't prepare for this. Yeah. Just come in.
No, I know. I'm teasing. To be honest with you, I don't know. We average about 70 to 80 tips a month between phone and
that is a lot.
So I wasn't great at math, but you do that over a period of 12 months, and then of course that can also change depending on what we're running. Right. Sometimes it's weird because we could put a case out that's let's say a larceny of beer from a Wawa, which I bring this up because you'll post something like that. It's a $20 larceny, but it like blows up and we get inundated with calls and whatever. But we average about 70 to 80 calls a month between people calling in and P3.
Right, but and I love that because again we're showing that the county are participating in
big time
what's going on in our community.
Big time.
And I think pretty much every podcast that we have done, we try to intertwine the community and their benefits and our benefits from them being cooperative and doing things. So, but Ron, I see you mostly on the TV more than I'm seeing my son here.
Yeah,
so.
Elwood's been taking care of all
fired?
he's been doing all the administrative type work.
Okay,
He's putting everything. He's doing. I told him to. You take the new school form of crime solvers with the Twitter and the Facebook. Elwood takes care of that, and I do the radio and the TV, kind of our generation.
Okay.
Because I know how those work. So that's where and it's just easier because Elwood is a lot quicker.
But I like how you have done.
And we've split it up. We split it, and we have Becky in our office, who does most of our admin type work.
Okay. She's the oracle.
She is.
She's the oracle.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, Becky can tell you exactly how many tips last year.
Oh yeah, Becky can tell you without hesitation.
How many tips? How much
we took
money?
1,138 tips.
Yeah.
She's the oracle.
I think one of the things you do notice, and I get comments from the public when we're out at events about how poor some of the video pictures we show and how great others are. And I know our community services division has a business watch. It works with a lot of businesses, but now we're seeing more homeowners with Ring alarms and other types of security systems. Yeah. And I think it goes back to a partnership with the business community on enhancing surveillance equipment so it could be something viable that we could and use in some of our tips.
Yeah, it's no doubt. The better the picture, the better. It will, because like sometimes you get a real good picture and like Elwood was saying, it'll blow up because it's obvious somebody knows who this person is.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And people love pictures and videos. Like I feel like if we were doing one of those things where we were just posting out narrative forms of crimes that we need help with, I don't think it would be as effective. I think, especially with the way we are now, we're glued to our phones. A lot of us, maybe younger generation, my generation. So it captures the attention much better when you have a picture. People love to see. I see a face.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
Versus maybe Elliott's generation who would go and get the gotcha paper and read it. I mean, that's,
Well, again, I can see one thing being an issue right now through the pandemic is the mask.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wearing the mask.
That's what we were talking
talk
about
about
that one day
it,
in the office. It was like everybody's wearing a mask. It's kind of hard to tell who
that's
they
kind
are.
of hard to figure out.
But believe it or not, that really hasn't slowed down too much as far as people being able to say, "Oh no, I know who that is," and being able to identify them. So it's been actually pretty decent though, because that's was one, like I said, one of the conversations we had was with everybody wearing a mask, how people are going to know who is it? But they do.
Awesome.
Before we wrap up, can you tell us again how, if people wanted to provide us a tip, the phone number and the texting app?
Yeah. So if you have any tip information on any wanted or crime of the week, you can give us a phone call at 804-748-0660. Again, that's 804-748-0660. Or you can submit a tip through the P3Tips app, which is an app you can download from your Google or Apple Play Store, or is it Apple or Google Play Store? And then you can also, if you have a computer and you like to use that, you can also just go to p3tips.com. You can submit your tip anonymously there. Either method to keep you anonymous. And of course, we should say that you would be eligible for a cash reward up to $5,000. That's something that we changed. That's new.
Okay.
It used to be $1,000, and it's now $5,000. Actually, last year, even during the pandemic in 2020, our board voted to change the reward amount eligibility, and well, not only that, but they had it passed through the Congress and the General Assembly and all that. But it was had a big push for that, and we kind of voted to adopt it, and partly because we pushed it, but to adopt it, because it's not every jurisdiction didn't have to do the up to 5,000. They can still do 1,000, but Chesterfield County, Colonial Heights chose to do the 5,000.
And if the public wanted to be supportive of your aspect of the police department, how can they reach out to you? Is it just social media? If they wanted to participate in your golf tournament?
They want to donate.
Yeah, you can donate to us, crimesolvers.net. There's an action and option on our site for donating. You can do it that way. You can also contact our office, 748 or 804-748-1278. You can speak with Miss Adams, the Oracle. She'll tell you and be able to give you more information about how you want to donate, and also if you want to register for some of our fundraisers that we do, such as our golf tournament, our 5K run. That's another
And
option
it's
to
a
you too.
very successful golf tournament.
Our
Y'all
golf
do a
tournament
really good
is
job.
the most successful fundraiser that we have, but the 5K run is catching.
It's catching.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome. Anything y'all want to add to it that we can leave our audience with?
Yeah. Well, I do have one more thing I'd like to add. This month, actually, another fundraiser that we're doing, and we're very appreciative of Sedona Tap House. So anyone that's listening that likes to eat and enjoy a nice beverage, Sedona Tap House does a charity every Monday from open to close, where you can go and get what they call a charity meal. You have to order a beverage. It doesn't have to be an alcoholic beverage. It can be just a regular fountain drink. But as long as you pay for a beverage, you'll get a discounted charity meal, whether it be a steak or salmon. I've had them both delicious. But you can get either one of those charity meals. And of course, they take $1 from every one of those meals that they sell at a discounted price. I believe it's $8 for either one. You get the steak or the salmon for $8, I believe. And $1 from that meal will actually be donated to the Crime Solvers cause. So please go out and support that. And not just this month, they do it for a different charity throughout the entire year. So, next month may be Children's Hospital, but it's every Monday from open to close.
And that's at Sedona Tap House?
Sedona Tap House at Westchester Commons. Thank you.
Sounds like a great partnership.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that's what I'm
it
saying.
is.
That's a
It
great
is.
community
It
partnership
is.
there.
It
Hopefully
is.
there'll be other communities in our other businesses in our
Yeah,
community.
Kroger's
doing the
another
same
huge
thing.
one that supports us.
Awesome. Well, Ron, anything you want to add?
No, I'm good. Thanks for having us,
Dude,
guys.
I'm
Appreciate
telling
it.
you, we've been hoping that we would get the opportunity to interview or to have a discussion with our Crime Solvers people, Elliot and I.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think we're doing an excellent job, Elliot. What do you think?
Yeah, and the partnership is there. I mean, people, like Detective Baldwin said, they want a safe
Yes,
community, and this gives them
exactly.
another avenue of resources
Yep.
to help protect their own communities.
Well,
does.
another successful podcast for Elliot
In
and
the
I in the books. And we appreciate it, guys. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we appreciate you guys. Thank
Thanks,
you.
guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
We appreciate
Thank you, Pops.
We appreciate you all coming. If anyone's interested in employment, just reach out to chesterfieldpd.com, and we will be in contact with you. Thanks, and see you next week.
All right.
All
Have
right.
a good one.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you for listening to the Chesterfield County Police Department podcast. This episode was written by Daryl Skinner, sound engineer Chris Rizzuti. We are the Chesterfield County Police Department representing Chesterfield County, Virginia. Check us out online at chesterfieldpd.com.